Hey folks, JD here, and today we're going to be taking up this. This is the Eachine Tracker H101. It is 50 grams in weight, its flight time is 6 to 7 minutes, its charge time is about 30 minutes, its control distance is about 10 meters. Now this is an infrared helicopter, so it is best suited for indoor use and not outdoor use. Now I have tried to fly this outside, but because it's infrared it ends up going a little bit further than the actual range. The motor's cut out and it falls down. I have got a video, maybe I'll put it live. There's a lot of times that this is actually hitting the deck. Maybe I'll put it live, maybe I won't. But today we're going to be flying this indoors and seeing exactly how it goes. But with that, folks, I think it's about time we take this up and see exactly what this is like in a proper setting. Okay, so we're going to flick on the helicopter and then turn it back around straight away. And then we're going to turn on the transmitter, and hopefully now that should all bind. One up and one down just to bind. Yeah, there we go, one up and one down to bind. And then we should be ready to go. So hopefully, if we start to increase altitude, then we should be up. Ooh. Ha ha ha! And there we go. Oh, she sounds nice. She's not screaming. Those motors are really quite quiet. I'm just increasing and decreasing a bit of throttle here, just to get a little bit. Oh, just get used to this for the time being. Because it has been a while since I've flown a helicopter indoors. Oh, let's decrease that a little bit. Let's turn her around a little bit. Oh, she sounds quite nice, you know. She feels quite nice. It's a little bit... Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. She seems to be doing quite well. I'm just going to keep her there for a minute, just flying around, just to see what she's like. Oh, look at that. Really nice. Really nice. Obviously, if you take these guys too quickly and if you stop them abruptly, then they have got, well, like all the helicopters, they will start to spin, and then you've got to try and recontrol it again. But this is quite nice, you know. Oh, and she's got that little brushed motor, pushes out quite a bit of power. It really does. Oh, see, I like helicopters. It takes a bit more control. It takes a little bit more control just to keep her going. But I tell you what, there's something quite refreshing about them, I think. There really is. And it's fun. And above all else, it's fun. Now, I did have disconnection problems flying this outside, as I said, which is why it is recommended by Eachine that it is an indoor copter. Yes. And so far, ooh, getting a bit carried away with myself there. So far, if memory serves, I may be wrong, but I don't think we've had a bad copter. I think we've had one which hasn't performed as well. The Seamer that we looked at a little while ago was just hands down fantastic. And this guy is bigger, heavier, and I'm feeling that in the flight. It's nowhere near as nimble as the Seamer. And it certainly is taking quite a lot to keep her up at a little altitude. I'm having to really feather that throttle with very, very small movements. Oh, and then she comes down with a bang. Now, how are we looking after that? We're looking okay. We're looking good. Right then, let's take her back up. These helicopters, they are pretty resilient. I mean, I've had one which, one of the sides has come out. I can just see on the back of it here, one of the sides, this side here has just come out from its little push pin. These are pretty resilient little things. They are, as far as the mechanics go, the electronics, then you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. I mean, there's one of mine where the plastics are hanging off and it still flies beautifully. And I keep on meaning to replace the plastics and I never get around to it. But yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to land this quickly. I'm going to see if I can just pop in that side because it's bothering me. So if I just land that for the second. See, this is what I was talking about here. It's just come out from this little pin. Now it's gone back in. Perfect. There we go. Excellent. So then let's take this up again. Whoop. That was my fault. It came straight back at me then. I didn't push forward as I took her up. And she just kind of floated back towards me because I got the window behind me open and the window in front of me open. So she must have hit a little bit of a cross draft. Oh, see, it's good. It's nice. But as I say, if you haven't got a big enough room to fly her in, like I personally, this room isn't big enough. So it takes quite a bit of just looking after to ensure that she just goes where I want her to go and where she doesn't want to go herself, because she would just go outside. I noticed that as well. Yeah, I like it. That little motor at the back and the rudder performing really well, just as and when I need it, and then when I don't need it, it just cuts out and lets the main motor just take over. Very, very good. I mean, there's not a lot that can go wrong with helicopters, if I'm honest, with these size helicopters. There really isn't. They are very basic in their assembly, and they just work, and they just work really well. And the battery life is pretty good as well. I mean, this is rated, I think, for about 6 to 8 minutes, and I think we're getting up on the 6-minute mark, and it's just moving really well, and it's just working really well. And I've hit the deck with it 3 times in this video. Oh yeah, the battery's going. I'm flat out here, and she's not really raising herself up that much, so we're coming close to that battery line. But she is working really well. I really like this. Yeah, there we are. Throttle's up and she's decreased. And yeah, she's not taking herself up any higher than that. So let's not put her under too much strain. Let's just stop her. Oh, that was a bit of fun. I really like that. I really like these helicopters. I really do. That's why I keep buying them, because I think they're great. Motors, cold. Stone cold. Electronics, stone cold. Crashed twice, 3 times, twice or 3 times, and all that happened was this pulled out from the inside there. So all you've got to do is you just line everything back up and just click it back in. As easy as that. No cracks on the plastic. A bit of a dent at the front there. No cracks underneath. The white LED still working. Everything else still working. No dents or cracks in the plastic. All good. Yeah, all good. I like this little thing. This is the Eachine Tracker H101, and I think this is fantastic. This transmitter we've seen as well before with a lot of helicopters. It's pretty much a de facto transmitter that a lot of manufacturers go to, and it works really well, and it does. And it's going to continue to work really well. It's heavy though, because of the 6 AA's in the back. This is heavy, but you can get small movements out of these analog sticks, just adjusting ever so slowly, and the movements are relayed ever so nicely. So they work, and they work well. Downside, it is infrared, so you are limited to indoors. I will put up the other video I've done of this outdoors. I'll put a little caveat at the beginning just to let you know that this is what happens when you take an infrared thing outside. And there's a lot of it coming down, a lot of it crashing, when it just gets taken by the half mile an hour or 1 mile an hour wind that we had, and then it just ends up coming back down. So at least you know you can go and retrieve it. All in all, battery life headed up to exactly as it said what it would. We're over the 6-minute mark, and it's still it was still going. It wasn't increasing altitude, but it would have scooted across at a couple of inches on the floor for a little while longer. All in all, I really like it, folks. I hope you do too. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.